This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the afternoon show presented by ESCN. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez and Jay McLovin. Well, Tony Gonzalez was here. But how's it going, guys?
I'm back.
Hey, you know them depends ain't working well when Tony gets up off the couch.
My dog wanted to how we doing. He wanted to go see what's going on in the living room, so he wanted out.
We love Paco. There's a Pablo. We love Pablo.
Pablo. All right, guys. Pretty interesting night last night. Baseball. We've got Thursday night football tonight. We got college football coming up this weekend. Some big games. But let's start off with Thursday night NFL football. Philadelphia at the New York Giants. Now, normally, I would think Philadelphia would be a heavy favorite, but the Giants are playing better. I mean, since they've went with the other quarterback, Dart. I think they did lose last week, but they are playing better. And Philadelphia, especially offensively, is really struggling. They're like the 30th offense in the league, something around that. So they're struggling offensively. Jay, what do you think about this game tonight?
Yeah, the one thing I would tell you is don't look past New York. New York is a really weird team this year. They're not consistently with how they're playing. And what I mean by that is if you look at it through the week one to now, they've been blown out by Washington. They've been blown out by Kansas City. But if you take those two games out of the equation, they've been in every single game, and they've only lost by maybe one possession here or there. Dallas, obviously, they took Dallas to overtime. And then the Chargers, they actually beat 21-18. And then you got New Orleans, they lose 26-14. And that's so crazy to me. I mean, you would think if you beat the Chargers, you should be able to beat New Orleans. But, things happen left and right. But I just don't know what what version of the Giants is going to show up against Philly. And, you're going to have to come prepared when you go against Philly in that tough defense. But like you said earlier in pre-show, Philly's been dealing with their own issues. Yes, I know they're at the top of the division. They got one loss, but dang, man, their defense hasn't looked like the typical defense that we've seen in the past. Saquon is not exactly blowing up the running charts, and Dante Smith and Brown, AJ Brown, they're not exactly lighting it up offensively either. And then you can say a lot about the offensive line or Jalen Hurts, wherever you want to put it on. But they are struggling their own selves. And Tony, we talked about this. Last year they got off to a slow start. I think this year they're getting off to a slow start. I do expect at some point Philly to right that or fix their issues and look like the Philly team that went to the Super Bowl. But I don't know, man. I'm curious to see how Jackson Dart plays against Philly. Philly's going to put it on them a little bit. They know they get a rookie quarterback coming in for the Giants. So I expect to see – I think this is the biggest test that Jackson Dart is probably going to see all season just because it's a divisional game. So the Philadelphia is going to come out and play hard. But I think this is a good first test for New York to see what they have in Jackson Dart. I expect to see a lot of Scatterbo. I think Scatterbo is going to be used in the receiving game and the running game. Scatterbo's been looking pretty good, guys. I know that first week kind of, they didn't play him a lot, but now they are really, since Tracy's gone down, they really seem to be using Scatterbo a lot more. So, again, this is going to be a good one for Scatterbo to see how he plays. They are without Neighbors, obviously, so that will be a hindrance to them. But we'll see if Wan'Dale Robinson or anybody else in that team steps up in that wide receiver one spot. But I'm going to go with Philly on this just because Philly is the more talented team, obviously, and the more experienced team in this. But I am looking if the Giants version that played the Chargers and the Giants version that played the Cowboys shows up to play Philadelphia, if that version shows up, then I expect this to be, a close game.
Yeah, Jay, I agree with you about Scatterbo. I think that's got to be the game plan. I think you got to pound the football because, like I said, they're limited with the wide receivers. So they got to pound the football. Dart's got to get the ball out quick and hit his short, receiver short. Probably not, maybe go down in the field maybe every now and then, but don't force it. Don't get turnovers. I think if they could play turnover free, and the defense plays like they did against the Chargers, which right now I don't think Philadelphia's offense any better than the Chargers right now, offensively. So I think this could be another 21-18, 24-21, 17-14 type game if Philadelphia is on, and it is at home. If the Giants are on and it is at home. Of course, I'm going to pick Philadelphia to win. I mean, I think you have to. They're the Super Bowl champs. I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants beat them. I really wouldn't. Not with I think it all starts with Philadelphia's offensive line. That's got to get better. If it don't get better, they're going to continue to struggle. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot better game than what people think. I think a lot of people think the Eagles are just going to blow them out. For one, it's a division game. Division games are usually pretty close. Yeah, and Philadelphia's offense has been struggling. I know they're 4-1, but they're all, if you look at their offensive numbers, they're at the bottom of the league in about everything. I think a big reason why is their offensive line. And they have a new play caller. I don't know if he's gotten a real good rhythm, but I think a lot of it's their offensive line is not doing a good job of run blocking, and then when they're trying to pass protect, they're doing decent pass protecting, but they're not getting no run block at all, which they did give up some sacks last week. Before that, they hadn't given up a whole lot of sacks. But no, I think Giants are going to get. I think Tracy's playing tonight, so they get their other running back tonight as well. So I think that'll help the Giants there. I think 7.5 is what I think the spread is. Yeah. I like the Giants to cover the spread at the plus 7.5. I think the Eagles probably win the game, but I think it's probably going to come down to last second field goal.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think that's very possible.
Yeah, the one thing I think in this game is really going to be key for the Giants, and what I'll be looking for in this game tonight, is can Abdul Carter and Thibodeau and the rest of that Giants front seven get pressure on Jalen Hurts and really force him out of the pocket and trying to make those plays. They're gonna have to put that pressure on Jalen and keep that rhythm of Philadelphia off if they're gonna have a shot at that game.
Really, you don't want to force Hurts out of the pocket.
That's true, because he is a good scrambling quarterback and he does have the ability to throw. So what do you think?
You want to get that? You want to get a pass rush on him, but you want to try to keep him contained, because if you can get him off his first read, he don't have a lot of success throwing the ball.
Yeah,
and you want to get that pass rush, but you kind of want to keep him enclosed where he has to step up in the pocket. Don't let him get out. Don't let him roll out to the edges.
And you don't want him to run either, because I mean he's won games with his legs before, so they got to contain that. And
if you get a pass rush on him and make him get off that first read, he can struggle in the passing game.
I know Abdul Carter plays defensive tackle. I don't know who the other defensive end opposite of Thibodeau is. Do y'all know right offhand by chance?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I don't either.
Oh, I got it right here. It's Robertson Harris.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, you're good. I should say Thibodeau's actually a linebacker. I apologize on that. So you got Robertson Harris as the right defensive end, and then the left defensive end is Raheem Nunez Roches. I don't know much about those guys. So but either way, I think the point is what Chris was saying. They've got to, like you said, you got to the basic what I was saying is they got to keep Jalen Hurts off rhythm. They cannot let Jalen Hurts get in the rhythm. I guess that's the point I was trying to make, and obviously the pass rush is part of that. So
yeah. And the Giants defense at times have looked good. At times it hasn't also. So it kind of depends. Like you said, they're kind of Jekyll and Hyde, give up 40 points against Dallas, but beat the Chargers, but then lose to New Orleans. So you just don't know what's going to happen there.
I do have one more thing I want to say about that. You got to think that this is a huge this would be a huge resume builder for Dable if he got that win tonight against Philly. I think not only is it a resume builder, but it probably will cool off the hot seat just a little bit. If you can get that divisional rival win, that's going to make him. I mean, he's still going to be on the, or let's say, he will go from a hot seat to a warm hot seat.
Let me ask you, Jay, and if ask Chris too. What does Dable have to do this year to keep his job? I mean, does he need to make the playoffs? I don't think it's going to happen. Or does he need to win 6 or 7 games, considering they got a rookie quarterback and rookie running backs, injuries at wide receiver, young wide receivers? How many games do you think he needs to win? Or do you think he could win 4 or 5 games, but he's in a lot of games and they think that's good enough? What do you think he's got to be to keep his job? Chris, what do you think?
I don't think he necessarily has to win a certain amount of games. I think it's going to depend on what the development of Jackson Dart looks like. If it looks like Jackson Dart's going in the right direction, I think Dable will still be there. I think the general manager will be gone. Either way, I think that general manager is gone out of New York. But I think if it looks like Dart's moving in the right direction and Dable's developing them, I think Dable will get at least one more year, especially with the injury to Neighbors and everything. But I think that GM Sheen, how you pronounce his name, I think he's gone.
Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm right there with Chris. I think it's a couple of things that he would need to do to keep his job. I think Chris hit the big one, is the development of Jackson Dart. If they could continue to develop Jackson Dart in the right direction and have him looking good in the right direction, by the time the end of the year rolls around, that come year 2, he's ready to really flourish, then I think that's step 1. I think step 2 is he can't keep losing games to like the Saints, for example. He's got to beat the beatable teams, the under 500 teams, the Titans of the league, the Panthers of the league, the Saints of the league. He's got to win those games, right? He's got to, and again, I think that's probably the first step. In the tighter games, right, like the Eagles or the Rams or the much more successful above 500 teams, he has to be close in those games, like a one possession, which he's kind of already doing that, right? He beat the Chargers, which was a good move. He pushed the Cowboys to overtime, which was a good move. It's just when you lose to a team like the Saints or when you get blown out by Washington, those are the things that tend to hurt him a little bit. So if he can keep the tough games close, and if he can beat the beatable games, and if he can continue to develop Jackson Dart in the right direction, then you got to imagine he keeps his job. And I think you can keep going. But if one of those 3 areas doesn't look good, then you got to imagine he's going to be on the hot seat.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to bring up before we move on. I was watching McAfee today, and he brought up something, and they've talked about this a lot, and especially last year when he was upset with the Colts, and it's culture. And he says that the culture of the team, and he said that he thinks Indy's culture and he said he's going to be honest. He said, I'm shocked that their culture from what it was last year to what it is this year is completely, turned around completely. And he said, a team like Jacksonville, they get a new coach and look what they're doing. A team last year, Washington, they brought in a new coach and the culture changed. I would think Denver, maybe a little bit, the culture's changed. How important do you think it is? There's a lot of good players in the NFL. There's a lot of good teams, pretty good teams in the NFL, but sometimes they never get over the hump. How important do you think culture is, Chris?
I think it's more important than talent to a point, because
I agree.
You can I could have all the number 1 ranked guys at every position on a team, but if them guys can't get along and function together, or can't keep on task, don't have the right culture, doing the things they need to do, it's not going to matter. I could have a thing of a room full of guys that aren't top players, but the culture's right. They all work together for the team. They're not worried about themselves, and you can accomplish a lot more that way. So I think culture is real big. And I'm surprised how quick the culture in Indianapolis had changed from everything we heard last year. But a lot of that shows you just if you can get the one position right, who's the main leader of most teams, the quarterback, how much that can affect the whole culture in your building. Because I mean, if you from everything you hear now, it's a complete 360 in the inside the building.
Yeah,
And you're seeing totally different results on the field.
and Jay, before you go, Chris, I want to ask Chris this: how much do you think that is because Daniel Jones? Not that he's up. I don't think Daniel Jones is a big talker. I don't think he's a big verbal leader. But him just coming in, doing the work, showing up, doing everything he needs to do, and kind of being still a leader on the field by example. Do you think that's the biggest thing that's helped turn the culture around? The quarterback play and the quarterback experience. And I'm not trying to take a shot at Anthony Richards, but he didn't have that. And he probably shouldn't have had it. I mean, he'd only played 16, 18 games before coming in here. So, I mean, that's kind of tough to ask of him. But do you think that's the biggest turnaround? I mean, because, they did bring in a couple of defensive players. They've got kind of the same receivers. That's one thing I told Jay the other day. Our offense, other than Daniel Jones, all our starters are people that we drafted. I mean, they built that. So, what do you think? Do you think Daniel Jones is the biggest reason that culture's turned around?
I don't know if I'd say the biggest, but I'd say one of the biggest. And I don't think it's necessarily what he says. I think it was the way he handled himself when he got there. There was the quarterback competition, and you had all the noise from the outside. And most people didn't think he had a chance to win the job, but he never really made it about a competition. He just went in and went to work and done his job. And I think a lot of the team saw that, and that's one thing that was reports with Richardson that Richardson wasn't always doing the work that he was supposed to do and wasn't taking things always seriously. So I think it was that. Also, I think Tyler Warren. I think Tyler Warren is a big reason in it. I think the way, because from all accounts I've heard about the way he came in to the building, like that, it was like he was a seasoned pro, as what I've been hearing. So I think he had a lot, and then I think Tre'Davious Ward on the defensive side, getting a guy that's had some success. I think that has helped change it as well.
Jay, your views on culture.
And
okay.
I'll tell you another big reason. And I hate to say it because I love the guy and he was great for the Colts for a long time. Jim Irsay no longer being here, and you got the girls running it, and everybody's afraid for their job because they're coming in, they're holding people accountable, and they're going to make their stamp and do it their way. So I think that got everybody kind of on the edge of their seats and be a little more attention to detail because they know that, hey, if this don't go good this year, we're all gone, and they're going to bring it. They're going to bring in their people and try to do it their way. Jim's no longer here to kind of eat that bullet for us. So I think that's a big thing too, is that with the girls running it now, I think there's more sense of urgency because I think people were a little afraid about not having a job if this season wasn't better than the last couple of years.
Yeah, real quick, Jay. I just want to tell a story real quick. A guy just on my Facebook page was just mouthing off about the Colts new owners and why would she be wearing a headset? What the hell does she know about football? Probably a lot more than he does. Shut the fuck up. I mean, she's the owner of the team. She's learning the team. What's wrong with her wearing a headset? Nobody said she's calling plays. What's wrong with knowing what your team is doing? What's wrong with knowing how your team works? I mean, and who cares if she's a female? We've got female coaches. I don't know about in the NFL, but I know we do in basketball. We got some great female coaches in basketball. So I don't understand that mindset. Jay, what do you think about culture? You guys got a new coach in Dallas. I think he's trying to change the culture.
Real quick, she was wearing that headset on the sideline for the last. She's been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years. It ain't like something that she just started when she became owner. She was doing that for the last 4 or 5 years, preparing.
Yes.
To take over when her dad passed away. So I mean, you know what? It ain't like there's just something new that they're doing out of the blue. They've been doing this for a while.
Well, the cameras are focused on it more, now. So, Jay, your thoughts? You guys got a new coach. I think he's trying to change the culture. How important do you think culture is?
Well, take this show, for example. 30 days ago, Jay's all over the place, talking, not listening too much, talking. And then Gonzo stood up for himself with the veins poking out the side of the neck and established the way we were going to start doing business. He established a culture. I bought into the culture, and we seem to be rolling pretty good now. So culture, and I'm being silly, but I'm also being serious. Culture is very, very important. Establishing how you want things to be done is very important. Like you said, you can have 1,000 people doing a lot of different things, but if you're not operating as the same cohesive unit, if all of you guys' ideologies aren't on the same page, then you're not going to have a cohesive product that you put out on the field or show or whatever else it is you do, right? Culture is everywhere. I mean, it's not just in sports. It's everywhere. It's in the job place, in your home, whatever, right? Culture is way more important than talent. Because here's the thing. I can hire 1 million scouts that are qualified, that can tell me, hey, you want this guy for this reason, you want to stay away from this. You got people that can tell you how to bring in the talent. The problem is not everybody can tell you how to bring in a winning culture. And if you look at what Ben Johnson has done for Chicago, look how that team is doing now. I'm looking at Chicago the same way I did in previous years. I mean, you can tell that team is changing and getting better. And it takes a while to really have a good culture established. So, in year one of Ben Johnson, look at already, you can see the difference. You can see the difference in Chicago. You really can. And Ben Johnson is invoking that. Give Ben a couple more years to really invoke that team. And I think you're going to see a different version of Chicago. You can already see it. If you look at the Jets, take the Jets. They're another classic example. I was looking at their record. And I think it's pretty evident in their record. And I know they don't have a win. Okay, let's get that off the table. They don't have any wins. But this team is playing competitively. They're looking night and day different than they did last year. And if you look at the scores reflect it. If you look at the last five they played Dallas 37-22. That's not a big differential. If you look at Miami, 27-21. If you look at Tampa Bay, 29-27. And Tampa Bay just beat Philadelphia. Am I right? Philadelphia, they beat the Rams. Maybe the Rams. Tampa Bay they just came off a big win. I forget who it was. It's losing my brain right now. But either way, Tampa's a good team. And they held Tampa within 2 points. Buffalo is the only one that really got blown out, and that was 30-10. But that's a divisional game too. But then you look at Pittsburgh. They only lost by 2 points to Pittsburgh, 34-32. This team is competing, is my point. Aaron Glenn has his team competing. They haven't won it yet, but again, culture takes time. But you can already see that this team is playing much better than they have in previous. You know what I'm saying? And so I think culture, to Chris's point, is that's the first thing you got to do in a team is establish a culture of playing as a team, a culture. Because then when you're the head coach, what are you doing? When you're drafting, you're drafting talent, but you're also drafting to see if that personality and the way they play their game is going to mesh with the way you're trying to do your team. Because the last thing you want to do is bring in a cancer into a winning organization, right? And then it infects your winning organization. So again, that's all cultural based stuff, not so much talent, but the culture. So if you want to have the right mindset, if you want your locker room to have the right mindset, it comes from the head coach establishing that mindset. And what is that mindset? So it all comes from culture. Talent can only get you so far. There's a lot of talented son of a bitches in the world of sports, but they don't always translate into wins. But that culture, you can see teams that don't have all the best talent come away with the Super Bowl win or come away with the World Series win. Versus, having, like, take, for example, the Mets. Went out there, spent all the money, brought all the talent in the world. They had Scherzer and DeGrom and all these people come throughout that organization. But yet, are they in the playoffs right now? No. They're sitting at home on the couch. So I'm just saying, I agree with Chris 100% that culture is 100% more important than talent.
All right, guys. You mentioned talking about a little bit about baseball. Well, we're going to move on to baseball. We had some big games yesterday. We had the Tigers defeat Seattle 9-3, tie up the series. So they'll be playing on Friday, I believe. Yes, they'll be playing Friday the game 5, guys. That'll be the deciding game. Also, we had the Cubs win a game, stay alive. That series is 2-1 now. The Brewers are still up. Back to Chicago tonight. Cubs won that game 4-3. We'll talk about tonight's game here in just a second. And then Toronto eliminated the Yankees, beating the Yankees 5-2. So Toronto gets to set home for a little bit and wait on their next opponent. Philadelphia bat showed up and put it on the Dodgers 8-2. Chris, your thoughts on yesterday's games? What you got to see and highlights and everything, and your thoughts on yesterday's games?
Yeah, I didn't see much of the Seattle game. I saw Detroit offense finally blew up and they scored like 8 or 9 runs in that game. To force the next game, the Cubs done everything they could to blow that fucking game.
Yes, they did,
and somehow held on to wood. I don't know how they held on to wood that the game. Everything they were doing. I mean, it was like they were trying to lose that damn game.
Yep, I agree.
I watched the last 4 or 5 innings of that game, and it was like, man, you guys are trying to lose this. But no, that's going to be an interesting game tonight. Cubs Brewers. Of course, Cubs have to get the win. Or is that 2-2 now?
No, it's 2-1.
2-1, yeah. So that's what I was thinking. So Cubs got, and it's back at Wrigley again, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Cubs have to, I mean, they got to do their job, protect home field, and try to force it back to Milwaukee. But the way that game was last night, I'd be surprised if the Cubs are able to pull another one out tonight. I kind of felt like the Yankees, the Yankees rely too much on home runs. I know everybody likes the home run, and everybody, because a lot of people are always talking about like the Reds don't have enough home run hitters. We have like 3 or 4 guys in their 20s, but we don't have a guy to hit 60. Or you have to have. Look what the Blue Jays are doing. The Blue Jays aren't relying on home runs. They're scoring their runs with timely hitting, and that's how they killed the Yankees in all those in them games. Other than the one that the Yankees kind of got lucky to come back and win. I mean, yeah, they were down 6-0. You know what I mean? They came back and won, but still, it wasn't like they ever really was in control of that game until toward the end after Judge's 3-run bomb that goes off the foul pole was a half inch to the left. Yankees probably got swept. But they just rely too much to me on the home run ball. And then I thought Boone made a mistake taking out pinch hitting for McMahon. He was the only one that had really done anything to that point in that game. You pinch hit for him. He had hit the home run earlier in the game. You give him their 1 run at the time. You pinch hit. You bring Rosario to pinch hit for him. Rosario strikes out. Next inning, the ball's hit the third that McMahon fields and gets the out. Rosario don't field it, and the Blue Jays tack on a couple more runs. So I thought he made a mistake there. He was going for offense because I know McMahon is known for his offense, but McMahon was the only guy that really had a hit that game. So why not let him face that same pitcher again? So I thought that was a little bit of a mistake. And the Blue Jays, they entered a guy for defense purposes, and he ended up getting a base hit on offense to help them score a run. So the decision paid off for the Blue Jays, where the Yankees it didn't. So I mean, but yeah, it was some good games yesterday. I'm looking forward to the night's game. I think the Phillies and Dodgers play again tonight as well, right?
Yeah.
The Phillies bats got hot. When the Phillies are hitting the ball like that, there ain't nothing you can do about it. And they could have scored more runs because they had bases loaded with no outs, and Harper, Schwarber, and I think Turner, all 3 got out in a row that inning and left bases loaded. So they could have had 3 or 4 more runs in that game as well. So yeah, their bats got hot last night.
Jay, your thoughts on yesterday's games?
Yeah, I'll start off with the Cubs Brewers game first. Yeah, the Cubs just they were trying to find ways to lose yesterday, but they did hold on to take the win against the Brewers. in tonight's game, you got, or not tonight's game, tomorrow night's game, you got Boyd going against Peralta, and Boyd.
That's tonight, Jeff.
Oh, are they playing tonight?
Yes, there's 2 games today. And
I know it's 2 games. I guess from my mind, I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
The Cubs.
Real quick, the weird thing is the Dodgers are playing the 6:08 game at LA, and the Cubs at Chicago are playing the 9:08 game. Ain't that kind of weird? Usually the Dodgers
usually you wrap it up with the East Coast or the West Coast.
It makes no sense. You know how cold it's going to be in Chicago tonight.
I know. Oh yeah, it is. It's going to be cold.
It was in the 40s here last night, so it was colder than that up around them lakes. So it's going to be probably 35, 40 degrees while they're playing that game tonight.
And I'm curious to see how strong that wind is going to be, because that wind is going to keep a lot of home runs balls in the field of play, I think.
Well, it could. It depends how it's blowing.
How strong that wind is coming in. So I'm curious to see how that wind is.
And which way it's blowing too.
And which way it's blowing. That could be a factor right there in and of itself. Like you said, cold. I don't know if the cold is going to affect them too much, because both these guys play in the north. So I know they're both used to playing in cold weather games. Well, but that wind,
you don't play much. This is one of my gripes about baseball.
Yeah.
Is we play the whole regular season in basically perfect weather conditions. Never play in the cold. And then let's play our most important games of the year when it's 30 degrees outside and these guys aren't used to playing in it. It just don't make no sense to me. Like this game, you could have scheduled earlier and the weather probably wouldn't have affected it as much. But like in the World Series, when you're seeing World Series games and it's 30 degrees outside and the guys are wearing all this stuff, it's like, why are we playing our most important games in the worst weather conditions of the year, when in regular season we play in perfect weather conditions, or we delay the game for a couple hours till it gets done raining so we can play. It's just like we never play in the cold until the most important time of the year. That's one thing I've always didn't like about baseball. Why not start the season a couple weeks early so we can have the World Series a few weeks earlier, and then you're not getting into the colder weather.
I got a better solution. Of course, this doesn't really bode well for some of the older ballparks that are never going to go away because they're iconic landmarks. But yeah, build roof stadiums or the retractable roof stadiums. That's one thing I never, because I get, Fenway, Wrigley. I get Dodgers. I get those ballparks because they're history ballpark. So you're not going to get rid of history. I get that part. But like, for example, take the Yankees, for example. They built that new stadium. They could easily put a retractable roof on that thing, but they didn't. They left it open.
You should. Baseball's not meant to be played inside. It's meant to be.
Well, then stop grappling about the conditions.
I can do whatever I want.
You can't have it perfect.
No. Hey, I live in America. I can grab whatever the fuck I want.
I'll give you a solution.
No, I think the solution is
you gave me a problem. I give you a solution, Chris. What do you want me to tell you?
Hey,
tighten up, Buttercup.
Hey, I don't like that solution. So that means you're wrong. I don't like that solution. So that means you're wrong.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time in my life I've ever been wrong. I'll tell you that. As a matter of fact, I've always gotten used to the fact that I'm probably wrong. But I will tell you though, Chris,
actually,
you can't worry about no damn weather.
You know what? Since I don't like that solution, I got to hate you and I can't talk to you no more. We don't agree on everything.
Hold on. You just said to me that I hate you. I can't talk to you. Well, hell, how's that? Shit. Are you telling me there was a time in your life that you actually liked Jay McLovin? Did that actually happen? And if so, when?
maybe a little bit.
God.
Don't admit to anything.
If you were a female and we were married, we'd have been divorced 3 times. No, but hey, back to it though. In all honesty, you guys got Boyd going again on the mound tonight. That dude typically in the regular season is giving an ERA of around 3 and a WHIP of around 1.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
Yeah,
it ain't no you guys, because ain't nobody over here a Cubs fan.
That's right. I forgot. You guys are Reds. You're Reds fans. Cubs. I don't know, man. Y'all playing the same damn. areas. Hell, I don't know, man. Okay, for purposes, they.
There you go.
Down. Them.
Okay, those are proper pronouns. Okay. Fuck, these damn millennials, I swear to God. Man, Gen X was so much easier to be Gen X than millennial. But anyway, back to what I was saying. If you look at Boyd, he had a little over 3, what was it, 3.19, I think was his ERA. A little over 1.09, I think was his whip. If you look at him in the postseason, he has ballooned up to like I think an ERA of over 5 and a whip at around 2. And this is just 5 innings of postseason play. Now, again, like you said, the conditions are going to be a little rougher. You know, I got to tell you guys, I am expecting Milwaukee to take this and wrap it up tonight. I don't think the Cubs are going to get tonight. I don't think Boyd has it. I don't think the Cubs have it. I think they were lucky to get the gentleman's sweep, because that's what I expect to happen. It's going to be a gentleman's sweep, but that's how I see the Cubs. On to the Yankees. That's really the more crazier game to me. And I have given Frankie such a hard time in the DMs. Frank was like, well, it's a bullpen game. I don't know why they're doing a bullpen, because quite honestly, I don't know why you're doing a bullpen game either. So I was with Frankie on that. I don't know why Toronto, who is in a 2-1 power position over the Yankees, why you're going to go out there and succumb to a bullpen game. I would have used my next best pitcher and let's roll. But it paid off. Sometimes when you gamble, you put a little bit in the middle, it pays off, and it paid off for them. And I think the Yankees got stunned on a bullpen game. Now, here's my thing. Now, Gonzo, you weren't here yesterday for this conversation, but Tony, you were when I had Frankie on the show, and we were talking about Aaron Judge, and I said we were going to side, and we will side by that. But the one thing I want to tell you is, and this is why Aaron Judge doesn't belong in the same conversations as the other Yankee greats. If your series comes to an end and you record the last out for your team and it's not even a hit, it's a strikeout, do you really think you belong in the same conversation as Lou Gehrig or Babe Ruth or DiMaggio or Jeter and the list goes on and on? No, you don't. That's what I was talking about, Tony. That was the biggest night of his life, and he got a strikeout.
Well, hey, dude, no, you can't blame that on.
The hell I am. The hell I am.
500. The hell I am. 500 for the series. He done everything.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Because you know what? It doesn't matter what you did. No, hold on. I'm gonna tell you why. No, there's a reason. Let me finish. And I'll make this short, and I'll come back to you because I know you want a rebuttal on this. But I can. It's coming through your forehead. He's sweating over. He just wants to hold on to that. Here's the thing, and this is the point I'm making. Yeah, it's not all on him, but here's the thing: when you want to be in a conversation with iconic athletes who have a history of coming through on those clutch moments, Chase Utley for the Philadelphia Phillies was another one. Guy can always come through. Last out, Chase gonna find a way to get on base. The great iconic players always find a way in the biggest of moments to make it happen. That's just the way I see it. And it's not that he's not a great player. He's a good player, but he's not iconic. And that's the difference I'm trying to make. There's iconic guys in the Yankees organization, and Judge just, and right now he's not one of them.
I agree with you as far as not. I don't agree with the part necessarily about him making that last out. But I agree with him not. If he don't ever get a World Series championship with the Yankees, with all that talent that they've got, and him supposed to be the main guy, there's no way that he can be up there with them other guys. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying he's not a great player. Now, like you said, he struck out. Well, like Chris has said before. I mean, if you bat 300, you're considered a great hitter, and you're failing 70% of the time. So and the game was 8-2. It wasn't like I would have felt more about if the game was 4-3. They're down one run and he gets up and he strikes out. They're down 8-2.
Sure.
So I don't look at it that way. But I agree with you 100%. If he don't get a championship, I don't see how you put him in the same breath of all the other greats. I mean,
it's not even only that, right? Let's say, okay, I think he would make it as a Yankee great if he went out there and was producing in the playoffs like he does in the regular season. Then you can put him in that conversation. But honestly, I think this is honestly the first playoffs that I've actually seen him actually do well. I mean, he didn't produce the last out, but he actually had a pretty decent postseason. But when you don't have rings and they're trying to put you in conversations with a Garrick or anybody else that does have the rings and has the biggest of moment clutch performances to back up along with the rings, and if all you have is a great a great regular season, but no postseason greatness, I don't know how because that's what they're going to do. They're going, okay, we don't have no rings. Let's go back and look at all the moments he played in the postseason, and let's look at the resume of postseason that he has. And if your record of postseason is nothing or very little, how do you do it? I don't see how you do that. And that was the point I was making yesterday. And anyway, but yeah, I thought it was crazy that this game was a bullpen game and the Yankees lost. Like, you should never lose a bullpen game. The other ones, when they get their top starters out there, okay, I get it. Maybe they're just better than that. But when there's a bullpen, those are the games you should be taking.
Jay, I got to answer for that. That's why me, you, and Frankie disagreed with them doing a bullpen game. You know what? That's why we're not managers.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta imagine maybe there's a reason that he did a bullpen game versus going with the next starter in the lineup. But I don't know what it is, and I don't know if we'll ever find that answer out. But to me, that was crazy. That was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in playoff baseball, where you do a bullpen game in playoffs.
The Phillies kind of done the same thing last night.
Yep, they did.
Who did the Phillies start last night? I forgot.
I forget who they started, but he only pitched like an inning, and then they brought in Ranger Suarez after that instead of starting Suarez.
Yeah, it was a bullpen game.
I don't know why they did that either. I'd have to go back and look at that game even more closely, because I was in and out of that game last night. I was halfway there and halfway down. Man, by the time them late games, I have a hard time staying awake all the way to the end.
Yeah, I didn't catch why, but yeah, for some reason they didn't start Suarez. They started the other guy and then brought Suarez in after.
Nola.
Nola started.
He must have had an injury or something, because he was actually doing well. He went 2 innings, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, 31 total pitches, 21 for strike. Yeah, with that type of lineup through 2 innings, that's not a guy you take out. That's a guy you keep riding. So I don't know. He must have been injured. There's no other reason I can imagine that they would take Nola out when he's not doing anything to be taken out for. That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, I don't know why you would take. I don't see anything on his thing where he's listed as. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in here as to why they took him out, but I don't think he should have been taken out personally. But yeah, to continue mission. So yeah, the Yankees, the fact that they're not in the postseason, I didn't see them being a first round. Oh, actually, I did, because I had Toronto. I thought I had Toronto over the Yankees. So actually, I had Detroit. My World Series prediction is Detroit and Milwaukee. I don't know if that's going to come to fruition. That'll be depending on their game tonight, or tomorrow night, I should say.
Yeah, Chris's was Detroit and Philadelphia originally.
Yep. Said the reason that, I guess, he said Thompson decided to stick to the plan the Phillies set ahead of time. He said they planned for Nola to go through the Dodgers lineup once, looking to get Suarez matched up on left-handed leadoff hitter Shohei Ohtani the second time through the order. The Phillies also wanted Suarez to enter in a clean inning without any runners on base, so they decided to put him in the game in the third inning to face Dodgers 9-0 hitter Tommy Edman, then Ohtani.
Okay.
But no, that was their strategy going in, that they were going to pitch Nola through the first time through the lineup and then go to Suarez.
That same situation happened with Tyone. Tyone was pitching a really good game, and after 45 pitches, they took him out because they didn't want him to see that third time through the rotation. So I guess that must be a common strategy then.
This was one time. They just had them pitch one time through the rotation and then was going to Suarez. That was their plan going into the game. Wow. It still don't make a lot of sense.
Their plan. I don't know. Why would you plan like that, though, Gonzo? Unless they were afraid that
what the Blue Jays done, they had it planned out, like basically what pitchers was going to pitch each inning, and it worked out for them. So, I mean,
it worked.
But do you think, though, that the reason why they pulled Nola out after one is they felt like if he went through that rotation the second time that they were going to light him up? and so they went with Suarez to avoid that.
I might be wrong, but he might be. Is he coming? Hadn't he been? Didn't Nola miss some time for an injury?
He missed some
He
time.
did.
So
And he
I
had a
think
great
he's just,
season.
I think he's just kind of working his way back. So I think that's what might have been why
They were doing a monitored pitch count with him. Then okay,
That's what
I mean,
what
that
would
does
say,
make
probably.
sense. Yeah,
That's what I would
that
say,
makes
probably.
sense. Okay, well, that makes sense then. But yeah, so now that's why you don't see Frankie on here today, because I think Frankie is still grieving. I think he was grieving yesterday, but I think he's grieving more today.
He don't care. He says he didn't care. In New England, that's all I'm worried about. New England.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how Frankie rolls.
But bottom line is he can't take losing. Me and Chris can take losing because we're used to it. but I guess it's a little harder for Frankie when you pick your winners, all the time. It's a little harder to lose. So I understand.
Hey, listen. Hey, if they said, "Hey, Jay, could you play one song that describes Frankie Cruz Jr.?" and I would choose Beck, loser.
Hey, Red's done about what I expected him to do this year.
Yeah.
I figured we'd make the playoffs.
Chris, one thing that's bothering me a little bit about the Reds, it's a little bit off topic, it's still baseball. One thing that bothers me about the Reds, and I understand, but when they made the playoffs, they had a great big celebration, almost like they won the World Series. And I think that may have hurt them. I think they should have just, hey, okay, we made it, now let's go prove something. And I think still had that mentality, but I think it was bad. And I says, act like you've been there before. Well, they hadn't been there before, so in a long time. So especially this group. So do you feel like that could have hurt them a little bit?
I mean, I guess, but I really didn't have a problem with it because you see, I mean, every team does. Every team when they make the playoffs, they have a big party in the locker room and celebrate. I thought we came out ready to play. I just think we ran into a hot Dodgers offense, and we just, if we get our chance to beat them is just like anybody else's chance to beat them. What the Phillies had done last night, you got to your starting pit. Well, not even if it's not your starter, but you got to keep them down so you can get to their bullpen as quick as possible. If you get to that bullpen and if you can get to the bullpen by the 6th inning against the Dodgers, you're going to have a heck of a chance to win that game. But if you don't get that bullpen by the 6th inning, your chances get smaller and smaller. So I mean, and we let the games get out of hand too early in the game. Well, the one game we took a lead. We got a 2-0 lead that second game. I was like, okay, this is how we wanted to start the game, but then boom, the wheels fell off.
Yeah. Okay, Jay. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just, hey, does anybody remember what game did Skubal pitch against the Mariners? Was it the? I want to. I'm thinking it's the first game. I think.
I thought it was 2.
I'm just looking at because I have a comment, but I want to make sure I wasn't.
I thought it was game. I thought Skubal was game. It could have been 1, but for some reason I want to say 2, but I could be wrong.
Because I don't think Skubal got. I don't think he got a win this one, did he? In this series?
No.
I think he took the loss. Correct.
Well,
I'm almost positive he took the loss. Let me see. I'm just pulling it up now to make sure.
I can't remember if it was 1 or 2.
I'm on Sunday. He pitched.
Was it Sunday he pitched?
So that was game 2.
Was it game? Oh, it was game. Okay, so it was game 2, and I think they lost that game. Correct?
No, let me see. Let me think.
Detroit lost 3-2.
Right. So my point is, so you got Skubal going up on the mound. Well, let me go back. Before I go on to tonight's game. If you go back to that first or tonight's game or last night's game, I should say, Detroit looked good, man. They're finally their hitters showed up. They had been lacking on getting runs in, and they really showed up last night. And you can't take it easy on Seattle. Seattle's one of those teams that's hungry as hell right now. Kyle Raleigh, I mean, that team is just playing. Arosa Reina, for crying out loud, is playing really good. That's a lot of good baseball coming out of Seattle right now. And they're pitching, although Wu has not made his debut this for postseason, because I don't think you'll want, if they make it to the next series, you'll see him, but he won't be in this one. And I really thought that was going to be the thing that killed them, but they're actually playing good. Their pitching is doing well. Their hitting is doing well. Last night, obviously, they got blown out. But Scooball's on the mound tomorrow night, and he's going up against, I think it's Gilbert, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm really looking forward to Detroit closing this out. I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but with Scooball on the mound, I think that's going to be a good game.
Hey, I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be at Seattle, and Gilbert's pitch as well. All hands on deck. It's hard to say. I mean, the game is in Seattle. Yes, it's in Seattle. So I'm like 51-49%. I'm going to go with Seattle just because it's a home. But Tigers they've showed some fire this series. They didn't show a lot towards the end of the season, but they got to the playoffs and doing enough to win and trying to make it to that American League Championship game.
Yeah, and Seattle's really going to have all of their bats on deck. Every single Naylor, you better be playing your lights out. Suarez, all of them dudes, Cal, all you guys, Rodriguez, you better all be there because Scooball's pitching great. He's pitching at 1.84 over 14 innings with a .80 whip. And then you're going up against they're going up, I forget that guy's name. They're going up Kirby. They're going up against Kirby, and he's got a 3.6 ERA and a 1.4. So clearly the pitching is going to be on Detroit's side. And I got to tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, last night, you know what I learned about Seattle last night is their bullpen is not as good as I thought it was because they got torched the other night. So they're going to have to really play good.
Who's going to pitch for Seattle?
So Seattle's going to be Kirby. It's going to be Kirby versus Scooball.
Kirby. Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they both pitched right about this. I want to say this is their second time going up against. I think Scooball played against him earlier in this.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. But if I was putting my money on it, I think Seattle's had a hell of a run. But I just think this is Detroit. And again, I picked them for the World Series. So I'm going to stick with my World Series pick. But I do expect it to be a very intense game tomorrow. I expect it to be very intense. I expect to be a lot of craziness. But ultimately, I think if I'm Seattle, I'm trying to get to Detroit's bullpen as fast as possible. I think if I'm Detroit, I'm doing the same thing because I know once I get to that bullpen like we did the other night, we can light them up in the bullpen. So that's really going to be what it's going to come down to: bullpen versus bullpen. If Seattle, or I should say, if Detroit doesn't get onto them quick and in a hurry, then it's going to come down to that.
Okay, well, we got big games tonight. Like I said, Philadelphia and the Dodgers at 6:08. You're going to have Sanchez for Philadelphia and Glasgow for the Dodgers. And then after that, we got Peralta for Milwaukee going against Boyd of Chicago. I agree with you, Jay. I like Milwaukee. What do you think? Do you think Philadelphia can tie up the series tonight against the Dodgers?
Yeah, they really did a good job against Yamamoto. Yamamoto, I think he went 4 innings, gave up like 2 or 3 runs on 6 hits. But he only went 4 innings. He didn't go long. So, they're going to have to do that. But again, Philly jumped out on him kind of quick as well. Right now, you got Sanchez going against Glasnow. And Glasnow right now has an ERA of 0 and a whip of 2.40. I don't know how you have an ERA of 0 and a whip of 2.40. That's kind of weird, interesting.
Yeah, he ain't pitched in the playoffs yet.
Yeah, so they must be going off of his regular season. Then either way though, Sanchez is probably one of the best pitchers that Philly has, and Glasnow is an extremely good pitcher as well. I just kind of read off to what he did in the regular season. So I look for Philly to make it competitive, I do. I think Philly's going to make it really strong. They hit better in LA than they do in Philly when going against the Dodgers. So it actually is in their best interest to even it up tonight, or I should say, it's going to be the best opportunity for them to even up the series to be in LA and then go back to Philly, and then it just happens whatever happens. So if Philly, I mean, obviously it's a do or die win regardless. But I do think I'm going to ride with. I hate to say because I hate Philadelphia. But I know that they do. I know that they play well in LA. So I'm going to go that I do think Philly's even up the series tonight, but I expect it to be a close game. And I do think that the Dodgers will win this ultimately back in Philadelphia.
See, I think the key is just like kind of what Chris said, is to get to the Dodgers early. If they can get 2 or 3 runs off Glasgow early, get the lead, making them play from behind. Don't get me wrong, Dodgers got great bats and they're good at home, but it's still an advantage, especially in the playoffs. Regular season is different. In the playoffs, you get that pressure. I mean, the Dodgers are going to be thinking in their head, we can close this out, we can close this out, we can close this out. And you get down 3-0 or 4-1 or something like that. And that bat gets a little heavier. Your hands get a little sweatier. So I mean, it can make a difference. And the bullpen is not what it should be. It's just not. So I don't know. I got a feeling. I don't know if they're going to end up winning the series, but I kind of like Philly tonight.
Yeah, Philly has no choice. They have to get after Glass now quick. If they don't get after Glass now quick, it's going to be a very long. The last thing they want Glass now to do is go 6 or 7 innings on them. They want to get Glass. I think if they want to have a chance at winning this game tonight, they got to get Glass now out of there by the 5th inning, and then continue to play their brand of baseball. But like you said, I agree with you 100%, Tony. And it's all about momentum at this point. When you're down 1 game. And you're going against a guy like Glasnow, who we know is a very, very good pitcher, then they're going to have to bring the game to them. And they're going to have to, like you said, they're going to have Schwarber, Harper, the whole 9 yards, man. They're going to have to come out and bring the heat. Bohm, if you're listening to me, you can't do no regular Bohm baseball. You were on my fantasy squad, so I know all about you. You're going to have to come out there and actually play Bohm. But yeah. So that's how I say it. But I do think the Phillies will take it. I think they take it, and I think it gets dissolved in Philadelphia. I think Dodgers are going to be too much at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's win or die for Philadelphia tonight. And again, we kind of talked about I like Milwaukee today with Peralta. He's a good pitcher. Usually don't give up a lot of runs. Usually just 1 or 2 runs a game. I like him a lot, and I know the Cubs are good at home. They're a good home team, but. It's the same thing for the Cubs. It's winter. It's winter. You go back to your house. They're in Chicago. So,
and let me ask you this: if you're Philadelphia, and let's say you're at an evenly matched game, and your starter is just about done, do you go with the bullpen? You're one of your natural bullpen arms, or do you try to throw in? Nola only did an inning the other night. Do you try to get 1 inning out of him and maybe, go look at some of your stars, try to get a couple of sparing innings out of that and try to push it? Or do you just ride the wave and use your bullpen?
Yeah, I think it's all hands on deck. I mean, you got to win this game or you
know what I mean? Yeah.
Or you're done. So it's all hands on deck. I have mixed feelings on starters going to the bullpen. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I don't think every starter can do it because you're a starting pitcher for a reason and you're a relief pitcher for a reason. And you've done it all year long. Don't get me wrong. There's some starters, give me the ball and I'll pitch. There's some guys' mentality. I'll pitch every day. If you need me to pitch an inning, I'll do my rotation, my starting rotation. And if you need me to pitch an inning every day, I'll do it. There's still some pitchers that got that mentality and can do it. I don't know if they're arm behind that, but mentally, that's the thing. Mentally, I think if you're a starter all the time, I don't know if you're mentally prepared, especially in the closer role, to be a closer. A closer is a different animal, and I think it's hard for a guy to come in and step in that hasn't done it, very much. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what the Dodgers are trying to do. They're trying to patchwork the bullpen to get through the playoffs and win a World Series. And I just don't know if it's going to. Don't get me wrong. If the Dodgers just go out there and pound the ball, it may not make a difference. And they've got the kind of bats that can do that. But and the thing about the Dodgers, something quietly is before they won their last 5 or 6 games in the regular season. So this is the first game they've lost. They've won 10 or 11 straight. This was the first game that they lost out of the last 10 or 11 games. So they've been on a pretty good win streak.
Yeah, and I just realized they used Ranger Suarez, one of the other starters last night. He went 5 innings, so you wouldn't even have him available. So you won't have your best option. You might be able to put Nola in there. And the thing about starters is you're right. If you try to just stick them in there, they probably aren't going to do as well. But a lot of starters, when they get older in their careers, I just use John Smoltz as an example. They kind of convert over to that direction, try to get a few more years out of that direction. I think even Craig Kimbrell, if I'm not mistaken, I think early in his career, wasn't he a starter? And I think then he became a reliever, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Yeah. It could be done, but like you said, it's not the conventional approach.
Yeah. You ready to move on to some college football?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I don't know if Chris is back yet or not. He can let us know when he gets back. Let's start off with, I'm going to give a list of games I got here, and then we'll talk about some of them. Number 1, Ohio State at number 17, Illinois. That game will be on 12 o'clock on Fox. Next game up, number 8, Alabama against number 14, Missouri. That'll be on at 12 on ABC. These are Eastern times. Big game. Me and Chris definitely going to be watching. Number 7, IU at number 3, Oregon. That'll be on CBS at 3:30. Then we have number 6, Oklahoma against Texas at 3:30 on ABC. That'd be interesting. Then we have TCU at Kansas State, 3:30 on Fox. Then we have Florida at Texas A&M, 7 p.m. on ESPN. Then we have Kansas at number 9, Texas Tech, 7:30 on Fox. We have number 10, Georgia against Auburn, 7:30 on ABC. Interesting game here, I think. Number 15, Michigan, against a pretty decent USC team. They struggle defensively, though. 7:30 on NBC. And the last game I have is South Carolina at LSU. That'll be on the SEC network at 7:45. That's a weird time, 7:45.
That is weird.
Yeah. Jay, first game, let's talk about Ohio State, Illinois. IU was all over Illinois. Then Illinois came back and beat another ranked team, USC, knocked USC out of the rankings. They are back up to 17. I don't think they'll have another bad performance like he did against IU. I'm not going to sit here and predict that they're going to beat Ohio State, but this game is at Illinois, which they played IU at IU. I don't know what the point spread is. I'm going to predict Ohio State wins by 17 points.
Yeah, I was looking at the point spread too. It looks like it's minus. Good God, man. It's minus 16.5 for OSU.
Yep.
And Illinois they're minus 105, and they're also at the under at 48.5.
Yeah, I think Ohio State's defense is too much for Illinois. I think the offense is. I just think Illinois, no way they're going to score enough points to stay with Ohio State. Chris, your thoughts on this Ohio State-Illinois game?
I think Ohio State's going to murder them.
Yeah.
You said the point spread was 16.5.
I haven't. Yeah, I'll be honest. I haven't looked at the point spread. Sorry, I got a phone call that I couldn't get out of.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ohio State's going to be too much. I mean, I saw what. I mean, I think IU's a pretty good football team. Don't get me wrong, but look what IU was able to do to Illinois.
I will give Illinois some credit, though. They came back and played pretty good after that. So I mean, yeah. I'm not predicting they're going to beat Ohio State, but I think Illinois showed, hey, we took our beating. There's nothing we can do about it, but let's come back and right the ship. And they did. They beat USC, a good offensive team, not a good defense. That's USC's problem. They don't have a defense. But yeah,
I think Illinois is a decent team, but I don't see them being able to hang with Ohio State.
I think there may be maybe 24, 25 ranked team. They got them at 17 right now. I still think that's too high. That's just my opinion. But, of course, there's a lot of teams that have dropped back and dropped out. So, hell, who knows? Next up, number 8, Alabama, and number 14, Missouri.
I didn't go. I didn't get to go.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you did.
It's okay. I'm easy to overlook. It's okay. No, I just wanted to say I'm right there with Chris. I think these dudes are going to get butchered. And if I was IU, I would probably have a therapist. As a matter of fact, I'd probably have a team of therapists at the end of that game in the locker room because these boys are going to need some confidence checks. Because I see a massive case of depression coming over the school of Illinois. I really do. I think I right there, like Chris said, man. I think what Indiana did to them was nothing like what Ohio is going to do. We all know what Ohio brings to the table, and it's going to be a long day for Illinois. But I don't think they fall out of the top 25 if they take that loss. I think they might drop back a couple, but I still think they. Do you think they drop out?
It depends how bad. If they get beat by 40 points, they drop out.
And depends on what the teams behind them. What the teams behind them do.
If they get beat by 10, I think if they get beat by 8 points, 10 points, I think they stay top 25. If they get beat by 30 points, I think they drop out.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Chris, what do you think about the Alabama-Missouri game?
Oh man, I like Alabama in this game. I know they're on the road. I think they have Alabama a 3.5 point favorite on the road. So that means Alabama would probably be about a 6-point favorite, 6.5 point favorite at home. I think Alabama. I think Alabama's coming together. I think they're on a roll. They got that big win against Georgia, then they were able to follow that up with a win against a real good, solid Vanderbilt team, and it's not your father's Vanderbilt team. Vanderbilt's pretty good now, but they were able to get a solid win there. So yeah, I think Alabama is. I think DeBoer's finally getting a little bit of a hold on that program, and the players are buying in. Simpson at quarterback has been playing real well. So, yeah, I like Alabama here on the road.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think Missouri can score enough points against Alabama's team to be able to beat Alabama. Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking right with you guys. I was just looking to see all who Missouri has played, and they haven't really played too much of anybody. They got Massachusetts, South Carolina. I don't even know who U of L is. Maybe it must be University of Louisiana or something. KU and then Clark. So they really haven't played anybody. Bama's played plenty of people, so you kind of know what you got in Bama. Don't really know what I have truly in Missouri, other than the fact that they're in the SEC. But I am going to roll with Bama on this. I think the rushing, they hold the advantage. But I think the passing game is all Alabama. I'm gonna go Alabama on this. I think it'd be. I don't even know how to predict this one. I would say it's probably going to be within, I would say 15 points. I think Bama gets them by 15.
Okay. Next up, Chris and Jay, big game, probably the biggest game of the week for this week. Number 7 IU at number 3 Oregon, 3:30 p.m. Chris?
They have Oregon as a 7.5 point favorite at home. I'm looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm picking IU. I'm not going to pick against I'm not picking against my team. But yeah, now it's not going to be easy. It's hard to win it's hard to beat Oregon, period. But at Oregon, it's going to be a tough game. Oregon's right up there. What are they? You say they're 3?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say they're right there as one of the best teams in the country. I believe IU. We're at 7 now, but I believe I don't think we're far off from being one of the best teams either. And this is our chance to prove it. So I'm looking forward to Saturday afternoon.
It's a big test for IU. It's going to be the best offense that they played this year. Oregon's defense played well against Penn State. Now, of course, Penn State, it's kind of some questions now about Penn State. They may have fallen apart. I mean, I know my main thing is to have a good performance and play a good game. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I can't pick against IU. Well, I'm a homer, so I'm gonna go with IU. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Oregon won the game. I just hope that we play well. But yeah, I think IU's got a good shot. I mean, the big key is run the football. If we can run the football, I think we'll be in this game and have a chance to win it. Jay.
All right, I got a question for both of you. If you take the fandom aside, just put the Phantom off to the corner just for a minute and just unbiasedly looked at it, who do you think is really going to win the game?
IU.
Even with the Phantom aside.
I've watched both these teams play, and I believe IU's offense will be able to score points, and I think our defense will be. I think the big difference between last year's IU team and this year's IU team is we're bigger up front. We're bigger on the offensive line and the defensive line, and that's what hurt us last year against Ohio State and Notre Dame. The only two games that we lost was the two teams that played for the national championship, and I think we're better on the line this year than we were last year. So I do. I think we're going to perform well.
Yeah, I think we got a real good chance.
I think we're going to win this game, and we'll be in the top 4 next week.
I will say with this, Jay, I agree with Oregon being the favorite. I mean, Oregon's been here. They've been there.
I agree Oregon should be the favorite.
I agree with Oregon being the favorite. I have problem being 7-point favorite. I have no problem with that. They should be. But I think I really do because of our running game, and this is the best offense that we're going to play this year. So I still question our defense. Our defense has looked really good, but I agree with Chris. We did get bigger on our lines. I think we have a good chance. I really do.
And I trust Signetti. I'm telling you, I do. I trust Signetti. That it's hard not to trust him what he's done at IU in the year and a half he's been there. So
yeah.
Wow, do you know how close you guys really are? I mean, you guys are really close statistically speaking.
Yeah.
The only difference, if I had to say, the only difference between you and Oregon is Oregon's played a couple of tougher opponents than what you guys have. I mean, we're all going to say Penn State's a big program to get a win. They were like number 2 at one point.
Yeah, we play Penn State here in a couple weeks.
Yeah. That's going to be another big game for both of you guys, or for you guys. Yeah, man. Because I look at the numbers and I wonder how skewed the numbers are, and I say that just because of the fact of the competition, right? I mean, but you guys are right there, man. Like you're 9th in FBS in point, or excuse me, Oregon is 9th in FBS in points at 503, and I think you guys are 5th in the FBS at 538. But it's only like by 30 yards, so it's not really too much separation. I mean, really everything, even down to the points. Like Oregon is 4th in points, and you guys are 3rd in points. And that's on your defense. Excuse me. 4th in points. You're 4th in points at 47.8, and your defense is 3rd in points at 9.6, whereas Oregon is right at 46.6 points. And they're 6th, and then on defense, they're 7th at 338. Or excuse me, I was looking at the wrong one. Scoring, yeah, you're 6th at 12.2. I mean, all of your numbers are they're just fractionals away from each other. So you're very close. Everything's right. If you look right down the list, you guys are like damn near identical in terms of your status. The only thing that separates you from Ohio is just your level of competition that you've done it against. And really, we're just talking really Penn State, because I don't think Oregon has played anybody beyond Penn State that's noteworthy. All right.
And I agree with you, Jay. But now you got to question Penn State a little bit after losing to by UCLA, who hadn't won a game. And you can have a bad game, so I'm not gonna hammer them. But the thing about Penn State now, when IU plays them, it's a must win for Penn State. Penn State loses another game, they're definitely out of the playoffs. Right? They're not even ranked right. Sure. I don't know if they can get back up there. I mean, beating IU would help Penn State, especially if IU beats Oregon. That would be a tremendous win if Penn State beat them. But Penn State's in big trouble right now. Right now, they're on the outside looking in for the playoffs. And IU and Oregon both situations where even if they lose this game, as long as they play well and it's a close game, it's not going to kill them.
I'll tell you, Texas. I think you'll agree. Texas and Penn State have not lived up to the hype or the expectations I think that a lot of people had out of those two programs. I mean, they just haven't lived up to it. IU has exceeded expectations, to be honest with you. Now, like I said, you can look at the competition. Say, I don't know, but you did play Iowa, and Iowa's a tough team. You played Illinois. Illinois is a tough team. Yeah. So you have played competition. I'm going to go with Oregon on this. I am. But I will tell you, I am going to be rooting. I will be rooting for Indiana because one thing I want to see teams in the final or the top 4 spots that haven't necessarily been there or we're not accustomed to seeing in the top 4. Ohio, you're not going to get them out. They're definitely there. Oregon, I mean, this is your opportunity, right? You don't have that opportunity with Penn State, but this is Indiana's opportunity to really get into the top 4. If you beat Oregon, you're going to be in the top 4. And I mean, that's a big step for y'all's program to take.
I would say this is the first time. I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time in IU football history that we've had a team ranked in the top 10 2 straight years.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We were in the top 10 last year, and then we've been now we're back in the top 10 again this year. I know in my lifetime it's never happened, but I would have to look it up. I don't think it has. Like a lot of people didn't even know IU had a football team for years.
Yeah.
IU hasn't been in football for a long time.
Now, y'all, IU, I always get the mascots twisted when it comes to Indiana. You guys are you are the Hoosiers, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I always get Indiana and IU, right? It's Indiana and it's Indiana or University of Indiana, right? Or Indiana University.
No, Indiana University is IU. That's Indiana. Now there is a U of I, and then but IU.
I think it's U of I that I'm thinking that I get those.
U of I is the Greyhounds.
Yeah, I think so.
And there's also Indiana State.
That's what it is. No, it's not. It's not UI. It's Indiana State that I get. Yeah.
There's Sycamores.
Okay, that's the one. That's the one. It's Indiana State and Indiana. Okay, but anyway, but I will be rooting for you guys. I would love to see Indiana in the top 4. I'd like to see Indiana, do something great because, like I said, I like that kind of stuff. I like seeing schools that haven't been there be there. I think we all get sick of the same old schools unless it's your school.
Yeah, that's true. Let's move on to the next game, and I'm gonna let you guys go, and then I'll come back. I got to take a restroom break. Oklahoma, number 6, Oklahoma against Texas at Texas. Jay, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, man. Arch Manning has really taken a beating, and so has Sarkisian. I think Sarkisian deserves to be beat up. I think Archie maybe a little bit of leeway because it's his first rookie season, whatever you want to call it. But even then, I'm still not giving him a whole lot of leeway because I feel like Arch Manning should be playing better than what he's playing. I don't have a lot of faith, Chris. I gotta be honest with you, Chris. I don't have a lot of faith in this team. I feel like I feel like our receiving core isn't top notch. I feel like our running group isn't top notch. There's so many. Arch Manning, I still feel like he looks so unprepared when he goes to those games. Like he does not look like a prepared quarterback. And there's just so much. I just have so much doubt in this team. To say that they would beat Oklahoma, I'd be lying my damn self. I think Oklahoma's going to take this game, and I think they're going to take it decisively because it's Texas and Oklahoma. The Red River Shootout. I mean, this has been going on for years or decades, and these guys always play each other hard as hell. But I just think Oklahoma is gonna come out victorious on this one, Chris.
A lot of this depends on, or for me, depends on if Oklahoma's quarterback plays or not. If Mateer don't play,
is he hurt?
Yeah, their Oklahoma's starting quarterback hasn't been playing the last couple weeks.
Man, I have not been paying much attention to Oklahoma. That's interesting. Okay, well then, damn, if that's the case, that could be an issue.
They've been, I mean, they're back. Well, they might have had a bye 1 week, but I know at least he's been out at least one game, and he's questionable for this game. They were hoping to maybe have him back. I think it was
Well, they just beat Kent State last week. I was looking to. I don't even know if he played. I don't even know if he played in that game.
Oh no, he didn't. He didn't play last week.
Okay, then okay, that makes sense.
He had surgery on his hand from an injury that he got in the win against Auburn. He hasn't played since they beat Auburn.
Okay. Damn. So he's still on the. Do we know if he's still on the injured list? I guess
they have him for questionable for this week. He's wanting to play, but they haven't. Right now, he's questionable.
Well, either way, though, Oklahoma's been playing well because they're number 5. So that means that I don't know who their backup quarterback is, but he can't be doing too bad if they're still in it.
Well, he got hurt on the 20th, so the backups only played either one or two games.
So this would be a huge game. Well, it's a huge game for both programs, number one. But it's a huge game for Texas because Oklahoma is ranked number 6. And if Texas wants to get back in the rankings, they got to win this game. They still got to play Oklahoma. They still got to play Georgia. They still got to play A&M. They still got 3 big games on their schedule. And they're going to have to win all 3 of them if they want to have a shot and even think about being. And then they'd also have to win, I guess, the SEC showdown if they were in a position to be in that game. I mean, there's a lot. But either way, I mean, that's neither here nor there. I still think, and I hate to say that, but I think Oklahoma takes this game.
Okay, so yeah, Oklahoma had a bye one week, so they've only had used their backup one game, and it was against Kent State.
Oh, jeez.
Which is a MAC school. And their backup quarterback, he's a sophomore. He was 14 of 24 for 162 yards and 3 touchdowns and ran for 33 yards and a touchdown.
And they're going up again in Arkansas.
I guess he started Hawkins started last year against Texas and went 19 of 30 for 148 yards in last year's loss to Texas. So he played against Texas last year, and when Texas beat Oklahoma. So that if Mateer don't play, that's who will play. If Mateer plays, I like Oklahoma. Mateer was one of the Heisman favorites before he hurt his hand. I watched him play a couple times before he got hurt and was impressed with him. But if he don't play, it's where's this game at? Is this game in Texas or Oklahoma?
It's Texas.
Yeah, if Mateer don't play, it's hard for me to pick Oklahoma with that backup. But so I like Oklahoma if Mateer plays. If Mateer don't play, that would make me lean toward Texas.
I like Texas. I think Texas is going to right the ship. I still believe in Archie Manning. I know it's getting a little tougher, but I think this is the game. You got to piss or get off the pot, man. If they want to have any kind of chance of getting close to the playoffs, they got to start with this game right here. I mean that helps. I mean you would have lost to Ohio State. But if you beat the 6th ranked team in the country, that gets you back in the conversation. So it's a must win for Texas if they want a chance at the playoffs. So I'm gonna go with Texas. Next game, guys.
You're muted, Jay.
Okay.
Oh, I was just gonna say every game for Texas at this point is a must win if they want to make the playoffs. But I know what you're saying. These 3 big games, you cannot falter that. And what's crazy to me is the one big stat I look at is 3rd downs. And I was looking at Texas, and I thought it was interesting. Let me pull it up where I was reading that. So both teams struggle defensively on 3rd down. Texas is 16th in the FBS, allowing opponents to convert 28.6% on 3rd downs. Oklahoma ranks 1st, conceding to 17.4% on 3rd downs. So I don't know, man. The one thing for me, I guess the reason why I don't know right now is I don't even know who their quarterback's going to be. If it's Mateer, then I think Oklahoma has a good shot. If it's this other guy, then I think Texas has a good shot at it. The only reason I'm so nervous about Texas is we couldn't even get past Florida, Tony.
Yeah.
We couldn't even get past Florida. Now you want to bring number 6 ranked Oklahoma into town?
And
I don't know. I think if Mateer goes, I think I'm a right. I hate to say it, but I think the podcaster me is gonna say Oklahoma takes it.
well, the thing about it is Archie didn't play that bad that game. I know he had 2 interceptions, but I know one of them were late, and they're trying to get back in the game. I think the defense is what let you guys down the most. But Archie played well enough for you to win that game. It was the defense, so the defense has got to step up. And it's going to be interesting. But I just don't know. I got a feeling I think Texas gets the job done. Next game up, guys. Florida, a team that's trying to get back in it and get ranked, and and do something. They're not ranked right now, but they play number 5, Texas A&M. What do you guys think about that, Jay? What do you think about that?
No, I think A&M's going to handle business. Like I said, Florida. I was not big on Florida coming into this. That's why when they beat Texas, I was like, God, are we really that? Not that Florida's a bad team, but they're not, like you said, they're not ranked. They're not meeting the expectations of what a big team is, and the fact that Texas struggled. I know A&M's not going to struggle. I think A&M's going to take this. A&M's actually playing really good, so I'm going to go A&M on this game.
Chris, what do you think?
I was trying to see what the spread was.
Yeah, I'll go real quick. My thing is, this is a big opportunity for Florida. I mean, if you could pull off a win against Texas, who was ranked at the time, and then you can beat a 5-ranked Texas A&M, it gets you back on the map. I mean, I know they had struggled early, but this is the way to get Florida's season back on track. And I'm not saying they're going to win. I think I'll go with Texas A&M too, but I think it could be a close game.
7.5. Spread on that is in favor of Texas, but it's 7.5.
7.5. Where's the game at?
A&M. Yeah.
There it is. As much as I would like to be able to say Florida's going to whip up on another Texas team this week, I think Texas A&M is going to take care of business at home. I like that Texas A&M coach, Elko.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Next game. And I wanted to ask you, Chris, about this. Kansas against number 9 Texas Tech. Is Texas Tech for real? Are they the number 9 best team in the country?
I think they're pretty. I think they're pretty damn good. I don't have a big problem with them being at 9. I haven't really looked to see who all they've played, but I know they really stepped up their program. They went out and spent a lot of money this offseason trying to get some players. They took a big leap in trying to make that team better, and it's looking like it's paid off so far. I mean, they need to beat Kansas. Need to beat Kansas kind of convincingly. You know what I mean? Because you are Texas Tech, you're known as like a smaller school, so you need these games against unranked opponents. You need to take care of business. But I'd be interested in seeing them play against one of these other top ranked teams to see where they stack up. But I don't have a big problem with them being at 9.
Okay. Jay, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm like Chris. Texas Tech has only played Houston, Utah, Oregon State, Kent, and UAPB, whoever that is.
Hey, Utah's a pretty good win though, because Utah's a good football team.
I was about to say Utah and Houston are probably the biggest ones they've beaten.
Yeah, Utah was ranked at the time, and Texas Tech handled them very well, and I was really impressed with it. I knew they had a good offense, but I was really impressed with their defense.
Yeah, the 2 losses that Kansas took was to Cincinnati and Missouri, and those were close games. When I look at Texas Tech, their defense is playing well. They've held their opponents to 14 points or less, and so they've actually scored anywhere from 35 to 67. So clearly, their offense and defense are holding hands and doing what they're supposed to do. Utah and Houston; those are the 2 best opponents that they played against. But I think that sample size is enough for me to tell you that, yeah, Kansas is going to lose this game. Texas Tech is going to win it. Now, like Chris said, I don't know how good Texas Tech really is until they played some ranked opponents or some, higher up. But Utah
was a ranked opponent when they played.
Yeah,
they were, and then they dropped that ranking. You're right.
But at the big difference, and I think Texas Tech might be, and I could be wrong. They could be better than what IU was last year. But it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. They're beating decent teams, but I'm curious to see how they're going to play against teams that have great big lines, great big offensive lines of defense,
Right.
like a Georgia and Ohio State and Alabama. I'm not saying they won't do well. I'm not saying it, but that's going to be when they get, because I think right now I think they got a hell of a shot to make the playoffs. So that's going to be the question: how man wise, do you have enough size and do you have enough extra players if you need them? is your team filled out as well as a Georgia or Ohio State or some of those teams.
And right, and like I said, when they did play Utah, they beat them 34-10, and they beat them the second week of the season. I don't know if Utah. I didn't got to go back, but I think Utah was probably ranked at that time.
Yeah, Utah was ranked. I watched that game. That's the only game I actually watched at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
So the fact that they blew them out 34-10, I think they can hang with the tougher ranked opponents. I don't know that they necessarily get the win. But I think they can hang with them.
I remember that game because I actually picked Utah. I actually picked Utah to win that game.
Well, I'm glad you lost money. Never bet against Texas.
I didn't bet money. I was just a pick I gave out. But.
Well, that's okay. You still took a moral loss on that one.
Yeah, I agree with you guys about Texas Tech. I think they win this one. We've got a couple more games, guys. Number 10, Georgia. A rivalry game, guys. We're going to be playing at Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
I like Georgia, guys. I think Auburn will give them a good go, but I like Georgia in this one. Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's a conference game, so they're going to play tough. UGA is much better than Auburn. I'm not even going to try to make an excuse of how Auburn could win that game. I think Auburn's going to get beat. Georgia is still a great team, right? And they're going to be right there in the mix of things. I know they're number 10 right now, but I think Georgia will move up in those rankings. I'm going to go Georgia over Auburn.
Chris?
Yeah, I think Georgia wins this game. I think Georgia's going to be too much for them.
Oh, by the way, it is good to note that Georgia has beaten Auburn 8 consecutive times. Okay. So Georgia clearly has Auburn's number.
Guys, and my last game I have is number 15, Michigan at USC, who's not ranked, but they had been ranked this year. And like I said, got a hell of offense. As at USC. And Chris, I did want to ask you, who's going to win the game. But do you think Michigan is the 15th ranked team in the country?
I don't. Not the Michigan team that I've seen play. I've watched them play a couple of times. I haven't watched every Michigan game, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I have. But I've watched them play a couple of times. I wouldn't have them in top 25 right now.
Yeah.
Where they have them, would you say they have them at 15?
15.
Yeah, I wouldn't have them at 15. No. Maybe top 25, but maybe 15.
Yeah, maybe 23, 24, 25. Actually, guys, USC's got a hell of offense, and it's at USC. I'm predicting an upset. I think USC beats Michigan.
I was going to say, I think USC wins this game.
Yeah, their only loss was to OU. I guess they must have had Mateer, so that kind of tells you a little bit there. I'm not going against Lincoln Riley on this one. I'm gonna. Excuse me, I was actually telling you wrong. It was Michigan that lost to OU.
Yeah, Oklahoma beat Michigan earlier in the year.
Yeah, I had the wrong thing shaded. I was looking at but SC did lose to Illinois 34-32, but that was at the beginning of the season.
No, that was last week.
Yeah, it was
last week. I apologize. Last week. Man, I'm gonna go with SC on this one. I think Lincoln Riley does it. I think they do. I think Michigan's gonna take the L on this one.
Yeah, like I said, USC's got a really good offense, got a really good running game, but the only problem is they can't stop nobody on defense. A good team. So
the spread is 2.5.
But Michigan's not a great offense right now. Yeah. They got a quarterback that I think is going to be good. But I don't think Michigan can score enough points against USC unless Michigan just runs the football down their throat. Then it might be different.
Yeah, that man Underwood only had 77 for 130 out of the completions, 3 touchdowns and a pick. But then you look at the running game, and he's got like 85 carries and 8 touchdowns. So Michigan definitely likes to run the ball.
Yeah, that's going to be the key. And it's a weakness for USC. So I'm gonna pick the upset though. Guys, that's all I've got for today. Guys, got anything?
I did want to say, well, Chris, you go first. I'll go second.
Oh no, you're good. I don't have no.
There was one thing I wanted to, but I didn't want to say it until I got his. I'm sure I got his name right. Ethan Pritchard for FSU. First of all, for all of us here, man, we are so glad and thankful to see that Pritchard is pulling through and he's going to make it. If you guys aren't tracking, at the beginning of the season, Pritchard was shot in the back of the head. I think he had a relative with him and a young child. He dropped him off and then got shot in the back of the head and actually is pulling through. He is conscious. He's talking. He's verbal. He's alert. I hate to see anything like that happen to a young kid, especially a young kid trying to do something with life. But we want to say how thankful we are that he's going to make it. So I want to say, that our prayers are still with the Pritchard family, but we are thankful that he's going to live because you get shot in the back of the head, guys. I don't know how the fatality rate of that. He's enormous. The fact that he's living, that's a miracle.
Yeah.
That's all I had. I just want to say, that our thoughts and prayers are with their family as he enjoys this, hopefully a very speedy recovery and gets back to playing football.
Guys, tomorrow we'll have some Major League Baseball course, and we'll have NFL games to go over. There'll be some interesting games this week, so we'll cover them tomorrow.